Welcome back. As you know, I'm Eli the Computer Guy here for the Daily Blob, where we ask the question, what if we are paying attention to the wrong revolution? So I think this is interesting to think about right now with this whole AI horse crap that's going on. Right? Everybody cares about LLMs. LLMs are more dangerous than nuclear weapons, don't you know? Biden, our first dead president, agrees. Trump, a senile old loser of a president, agrees. Everybody agrees that we have to focus on artificial intelligence. This is the game changer. And one of the things that I'll bring up is that we've heard this crap before. Right? The metaverse was a game changer. Blockchain was the game changer. All these things were going to be the game changer. And the reality is most of the time what actually changes the world are kind of the unexpected things. Nobody expected the iPhone. Nobody expected the iPhone. Nobody really cared about the internet. Like the internet, when it first came out, was one of those weird, curious things. But then people actually started using it, and that's when it became the dominant force. And so anyways, one of the interesting things that I'm curious now with the whole world of technology is basically this idea of on-demand products and services and how people can access these products and services more easily. And what does the infrastructure look like to offer these products and services? I talk about this with Instacart and how weird it is that even relatively new grocery stores are not designed even around an Instacart world, right? You have these Instacart shoppers running through the grocery store, making it an absolutely terrible experience for most of the other grocery store customers there, right? And then the thing is that there's not really facilities for these delivery drivers, right? I talk about this where if you think about how a modern grocery store, how you would think it would be, is you would think you would have a customer parking up front, semi-trucks and that kind of thing in the warehouse and back, and then there should be, I don't know, 5 or 10 spaces for Instagram delivery drivers just to be able to pull in relatively close to the store, be able to come into a door, maybe be able to grab a cup of coffee, go to the bathroom, actually do some of these things that humans need to do, pick up the grocery store, the groceries that they need, and be able to run out, make it a much easier, more efficient experience. And one of the curious things that we see is that that's not how grocery stores are being built. I've talked about this before, things like robots. Like I think about this with robot lawnmowers, right? And one of the things you don't see a lot of people talking about is how to design your lawn to be a robot lawnmower friendly. Now, so think about this, right? You have a robot lawnmower and it has all kinds of sensors on it. Well, the thing is, you have a robot lawnmower or you have a robot thing and it's in your house in many environments. It might be pretty easy for it to understand what's going on. But when it's in a lawn, right, you have trees and you have grass and you have toys and you have pets and you have a lot of stuff going on, brush shrubs and that type of thing. And so one of the things to just consider is how could you landscape your property in such a way to be designed so that it's appropriate for a robot lawnmower. And it's curious, we don't hear this kind of stuff because it's all about LLMs. LLMs are nothing. Don't worry about that. But anyways, what's interesting to see though is that there are companies out there that are looking at this, and one of the ones I think is interesting here is Walmart. So when you think about Walmart, you don't think about big tech. You don't think about the future. Walmart is oh so in 1990s, but they might actually be pretty significant for the future, especially as far as retail is concerned, and might actually be a significant player against Amazon in the future. And yeah, I wonder how this will work out. Hey, remember how well the small towns did when all the Walmart box stores opened up? What happens when Walmart takes over basically retail delivery? How's that going to do for a lot of these communities? So what Walmart is doing is they're opening up dark stores. So this is coming from whoever this is coming from, Food and Wine, actually. Why Walmart is opening dark stores that customers can't go inside. So Walmart has started to open up these dark stores, and the idea with a dark store is that it's basically it's a store. It's a retail facility, kind of like a warehouse. It's like a warehouse, but the concept here is that it's designed specifically for local delivery. Again, think about that Instacart thing. Think about if you had property that was designed only for Instacart employees. That's kind of what you're talking about with a dark store, almost like a ghost kitchen. So you hear about ghost kitchens where there are restaurants that you can't go to. They only do delivery. And that's what dark stores are, and that's what Walmart is getting into. Walmart is once again testing the waters with a new opportunity for customers aiming to boost quality and efficiency on its online delivery services. While its efforts to provide better service for shoppers aren't surprising, its latest project might be Walmart is opening stores that customers can't go into. The largest retailer in the United States, which currently operates 4,800 stores nationwide, is opening brick and mortar locations that will only be used to fulfill online orders and not be accessible to its shoppers. Referred to as dark stores, the first of these new establishments is already operating in Dallas, Texas, and another is planned to open in Bentonville, Arkansas. So one is already opened, another is about to be opened. And the important thing to be thinking about this with Walmart is Walmart not only has a lot of revenue, they also have a lot of profit. So if they decide to scale out on a concept, that could be absolutely massive. And then the interesting thing to be thinking about, and we started to see it in modern society, especially with Amazon, is what happens when the box stores start dying, right? We've been really used to, right? We've been used to the idea that small towns or inner cities are dying and then everybody moves to the suburbs. What happens when all those facilities around the suburbs start dying? You know, Best Buy is basically already dead, right? Best Buy, Bed Bath & Beyond, I think they're dead. Toys R Us. Yeah, some of these box stores are already dead anyway. What happens when more and more people start shopping online? So even the Walmarts of the world start going away. What does that start to look like? And how depressing does that get? Can you imagine all these work from home people? I talk about this with work from home people, where it sounds horrible. With a lot of them. Like, don't get me wrong, right? If you live in downtown Portland or downtown Washington, D.C., or whatever, downtown Asheville, and you work from home, it's kind of cool. You work from home all day. You know, you get a coffee in the morning, you walk your dog, you do your run, you go grab a beer at night. That's pretty social. It's like you work from home, but you can have a nice social life. One of the things that you think about a lot of these people out in the suburbs, right? You have your condo in the suburb, and it's just you. You wake up to your Keurig coffee. And then you start working at 7 o'clock in the morning. And then you sit at your computer, tippy-tap typing all day. And then you get your Instacart food delivery. And then, you get your beer out of the kitchen or whatever. And then you watch Netflix. And that's your day after day after day after day. And for some reason, people think this sounds like a good thing. Imagine when even the box stores around you, what happens when they disappear? What happens when they leave? It's interesting to think about. Or what happens if other areas become more viable? Think about all these rural areas, right? A rural area where you can't get your organic free-range salt, your gluten-free salt. I've actually seen that in Whole Foods. They'll have salt and they'll say gluten-free. And you're like, yes, it's salt. Anyways, but imagine like if you're out in rural area, what if you're out in the mountains of West Virginia and you can order your gluten-free range salt and have it delivered to you the exact same day? Or in the inner cities, right? We talk about this with food deserts, right? One of the problems, in a lot of cities, especially inner cities and poor places where they're not able to get food. With these delivery options, does that make those places more viable? Could this lead to a resurgence in those areas? I don't know. It's things to ponder, things to think about. According to USA Today, you won't find signage outside the Walmart locations because they're not intended to attract customers. However, the interior of the stores will resemble the major retailers' usual outlets, and these locations will carry some of Walmart's most popular products that customers know and love. The dark stores are designed to serve as fulfillment centers and expedite online deliveries. During an earnings call this May, Walmart's Chief Executive Officer, Douglas McMillon, said, quote, "Delivery speed continues to help drive our business. We'll soon reach 95% of the population in the U.S. with delivery options of 3 hours or less." Now think about that delivery on 3 hours or less, right? So if you go to Amazon or you go to something and it'll be 2 days, it's like, well, I could wait 2 days for this thing, but I really like it today, so I'll go to the store. What happens when 95% of the U.S. population can simply order something and they get it in 3 hours or less? Macmillan also emphasized for Walmart US, the number of deliveries in less than 3 hours grew by 91% for Q1 versus a year ago. In the brand's corporate release announcing expanded drone delivery service earlier this month, Senior Vice President of Walmart US Transformation and Innovation, Greg Cathy, emphasized the company's commitment to, quote, pushing the boundaries of convenience to better serve our customers, making shopping faster and easier than ever before. The dark stores aim to further the same goal and will help Walmart compete with retail giants like Amazon that can deliver orders with incredible speed. So yeah, I kind of think this is interesting. I'll be curious to see where it goes, right? You know, Walmart, when I was growing up, when I was young, when I was learning entrepreneurship, it was all about Walmart, right? The Walmart effect was one of the big things that was talked about. And then you go into the 2000s and Amazon takes over. So everybody's talking about Amazon. The curious thing, though, is that Walmart hasn't gone away. Walmart still has 4,800 locations. Walmart is still pretty profitable. They have a crap ton of revenue and the whole 9 yards. So it will be interesting to see as they start going into delivery, whose strategy might win at the end of the day. There's been this concept that Amazon will simply win the race and they will be the monopoly to own all of retail in the US. But it looks like with Walmart, maybe it'll be a duopoly, which I guess is better. A duopoly is better than a monopoly, but I'm not that excited about it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this goes and basically how this moves forward. What do you think about this with more and more retail simply being delivery, right? The way that you used to order a pizza, you'll now be able to order an ironing board or whatever else. What do you think about not just simply being able to go to Amazon, but going to places like Walmart or whatever, and they'll be able to offer these services? Do you think Walmart will do better than Amazon, right? It is interesting to think about, right? Amazon is more of a warehouse technology company where Walmart has been more of a retail company. When you think about synergy and you think about company culture, which culture would win in the 2020s? I don't know. Something to ponder, something to think about. Put your thoughts down below. Give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down, give us a great comment, give us a horrible comment. It's the modern world of social media. All that matters is that interaction. And with that, see y'all later.